Hello, Internet, and welcome to my corner. As always, I hope you're doing well today, especially today, because in case you don't know, today is none other than
Happy Rex Manning Day! Joe, it's Rex Manning Day.
Oh, we mustn't dwell. Not on Rex Manning Day.
If you get that reference, you're the GOAT, bro, and you're in my heart forever. But seriously though, today we're asking the real questions, the hard-hitting questions, the questions that keep me up at night. Today we're asking... Fuck, I forgot the title of this one. Shit. Cut that out. Future me, cut that out. Will Harrison see Rita in Resurrection Season 2? I got there. Don't worry. We got there. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. Consider liking the video if you did. Consider subscribing if you don't want to miss out on any of my other ghoulish, ghastly, dexterous antics. And as always, definitely comment. I love your thoughts. What can I say? I just want to hear them. Electronically. With my eyes. Alrighty, enough of the pleasantries, it's time to get mean. I know this is a Rita video, but I'm gonna talk about Hannah first, just real quick because I know what some people are gonna say. Yes, while it makes sense for Harrison to see Hannah rather than Rita, if we're pulling from an exact parallel standpoint, but it's not the golden rule of Dexter ghosts. You'll see later on in the video why, but basically Dexter sees everyone in the kitchen sink as ghosts at some point or another, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the step-parent that they see. And I definitely don't think Rita is off the table, nor should she be. I only had to preface that because I know some douche is gonna be in the comments like... Alrighty, I promise, now we're gonna talk about my sweet baby angel, Rita Morgan. We're done with the bullshit. Let's get into it. I'm surprised Dexter hasn't seen Rita before in a vision, because next to Brian, I honestly feel like she was one of the most formative people in his life. Because while Harry and Brian taught him how to embrace his darkness, Rita really showed him how to embrace his humanity. She saw and unlocked parts of him that Dexter and fucking us as the audience, and honestly, probably even the writers didn't know were there. Rita very much was the heart of the show, and in a lot of ways, it's another Brian problem, just this time on the other end of the spectrum. One of the best things she did was she introduced a way to humanize Dexter, and, you know, the show was so great up to season 4 because those first 4 seasons, Dexter had a moral compass and someone to emulate his feigned humanity for, and then he would fake it so much that he started to actually adapt it into his life, and it felt like it mattered what Rita thought of him more than anyone else in the cast. You know, in a lot of ways, it became less about him not getting caught and him not letting Rita down. And it was like the best and worst decision at the same time to kill her off, because now we're left in a world where Dexter has no moral compass. And ever since then, he really has been letting his ego and his urges just kind of dictate his life. Yes, there was Deb, but, you know, as we saw, Dexter very clearly didn't feel the same way about Deb that he did Rita. I mean, he never looked at Deb romantically in the slightest, and I'm not saying it's about who he loves more, but the reason Rita is so important in his life is because it's a different kind of love that was introduced, and it's that type of love that we see Dexter experience for the first time. It's his literal first love, and I feel like that gets downplayed a lot, which is weird because he starts the series out as, and basically throughout the whole series, he identifies as this unfeeling monster, with Rita being the only silver lining that changes his perspective on that. And it really resonates as the reason why Dexter, the series, is so good in the first place. And hopefully, I mean, it seems like that's where they're going with Resurrection, maybe, but I can see a world where they try to replicate this feeling with Harrison. In New Blood, we see Deb's ghost, we see Brian, we see Dokes, Trinity, fucking Miguel. Like, what the fuck is going on here? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Skinner as a ghost before fucking Rita at this point. And in addition to ghosts that should have been but haven't seen yet, Lundy would have been an incredible vision for Dexter to have as well. He was very much a worthy adversary who very much restarted his heart. In a lot of ways, he really resurrected Dexter for the first time, and we see that physically and thematically in the beginning of season 2. He really gave him his new life as the Bay Harbor Butcher, and he introduced us to this world of people knowing about Dexter's work that was never supposed to be seen. And he saw for the first time how there were normal people who validated him. And with that, Lundy kind of gave him hope that he could blend in with normal people for the first time. And and that the people he felt ostracized from were more like him than he realized. And so you see where I'm going with this. The reason we like Dexter is because he wants these things. He wants to fit in, he wants to be normal. And with Rita, not only is she his first love, he starts a family and marries her, he becomes a father. So like, those are already 3 major milestones in a person, in a normal person's life, all of which are being experienced with the same person. He basically did a speed run of like being normal, and after she dies, so that's actually 4 major moments that Rita shared with him. And that's the reason it kind of annoys me, honestly, because we literally see every other person in his life as like a ghost or a vision at some point. I think we've actually only not seen LaGuerta at this point, and he did her dirty as fuck, bro. I hadn't looked it up much, but it seems like Julie Bennett, is her name Bennett or Benz? I don't know, whatever. Fucking the actress who plays Rita. I know her first name is Julie. I feel like Julie left the show on good terms, and I think she was pretty shocked that they got a body double for that scene in Resurrection. So I don't know what the aversion is with referencing her character. Like, they're clearly very willing to bring characters back. They brought back Batista just to make him a ghost, honestly. Quinn, Masuka, everyone I mentioned before. My point is the pieces are there, and what I think we're seeing is them realizing the heart of Dexter again. They kind of replicated it a little bit with Prater, pulling a ton of references from him and Brian. And I think the reason they don't bring Rita back is because they'd be admitting it was a mistake to kill her off. Not that I think it was a mistake, but I think the mistake really came from what happened afterwards. They really were left fumbling with the idea of what makes Dexter compelling. And the answer is, it's simple, Wee-wee. It's his personal life. The answer is his personal life. Rita was the solution to the Brian problem. And they treated her the same way they did him. And, 10 years later, I think they're finally, hopefully, maybe, getting back on track by having Harrison kind of take that place in his life. The only issue there is that Harrison isn't nearly as compelling a character yet as Rita was. And I say yet because I believe there's hope. And I think what's missing from that formula is Harrison's moral compass. Rita, in a lot of ways, was so strong a character because her beliefs and her resolve were like almost unshakable. She was a very prominent, shining light of a North Star for Dexter, and we don't see that in his life anymore. So if they're trying to replace Rita with Harrison, I mean, we're still gonna need that same impact that Rita had. And quite frankly, Harrison doesn't have that yet. He kind of just has this it is what it is attitude, I love my dad now type shit. There's no real force that drives him currently. He just kind of like floats around as Dexter's sidekick. So I think the logical next step for the series is to really double down on Harrison and to give him some compelling conflicts about loving his dad, but not what he does. He knows the truth about how he got his mom killed and basically everyone else in his life. So that conflict should really come into the forefront in season 2 of Resurrection, I think. And the best way for that to happen, I think, is if Harrison gets some visions of Rita. In order for Harrison to become a moral compass for Dexter, he's gonna need one himself. And they're clearly against bringing Rita back in Dexter's mind for some reason, even though it makes complete sense. So why not just bring her back in Harrison's? And I know a big part of it is Dexter being schizophrenic, but I think with just enough trauma, we can definitely justify Harrison seeing the only normal person that's ever been in his life. And just like my guy Dexter, Harrison does 2 things, alright? He smashes blondes, and he gets traumatized, like almost from the jump. And my boy is all out of GG. Like father, like son, I guess. Personally, I want him to see Rita. I'd love a world where we see Harrison talking and learning more about his mom and kind of developing this conflicting morality because he's caught between his dad's world and his mom's. And I'd love to sort of see these glimpses of her kind of speaking through him almost. I think that'll really take his character a long way by highlighting the compassionate side of him that he got from his mom. And I think it really started to give us as the audience, like that true closure between Dexter and Rita that we never really got. The only closure we really got was like a very quick scene about Dexter explaining to Harrison what happened, and Harrison is just like, finally the truth. And then literally that was it. I love my dad. That's whatever. That's not about that. And death is a very tricky theme for sure, because while I do love the permanence of it and sort of this lack of closure, it's very thematic in itself, it just seems a little inauthentic when everyone else who's died in his life gets that opportunity to find closure in his mind when they were not nearly as significant to him, which really leads me to believe that there's another reason they don't want to bring her back, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why. Listen, if you have any reasons as to why, definitely leave a comment and let me know, and I think I'll leave you with that and call it a video. If you made it this far, consider liking the video if you did. Consider subscribing if you don't want to miss out on any more of my love for my sweet baby angel Rita. And again, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely give me your opinions on Rita. I don't do shit ever. They keep me entertained. I like reading them. Please and thank you. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and as always, have a wonderful day or night. Stay safe out there, and blah, 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 obligatory outro, go! I am fucking really crazy. Jesus, bro. Like, do you guys, okay, honestly, like, I'm just gonna riff right now and see how long this shit goes to see if anyone listens. Do you guys watch these outros? Like, does anyone listen to the outros? I know it's like a new, fresh channel, so I can't blame you for not. But I just, like, if you do watch to the end, just fucking say it, bro, and let me know if you think I'm a fucking maniac or not. They're gonna have me on fucking Dexter at some point, because I'm so goddamn crazy. Okay, peace out, internet. I'm fucking gonna do my dance now. Adios.